Okay, so during episode 703, we found one wheat cent. And what I do is, if I find a wheat cent, especially upside down, I'll leave it for the end of the video. At the end of the video, I say, oh, we got a 1944. And I look at it and I say, oh, the 9 and the 4 looks like it has spreading, right? You can see it very, very easily. The 9 and the second 4 have very distinguished spreading. Does that mean it's a double die? Not necessarily. Does that mean it's not a double die? Not necessarily. Okay, but that's what's obvious on it is the spreading on the 9 and the 4. So what happened was I started to do all of this research, but at the end of the video, you know what I mean? I was making a video super, super long. So I said I was going to do it separately on as a standalone video. Okay. So this is a research video on this 1944 possible double die coin that we found penny roll hunting during episode 703. So I'm going to put you up to the screen so we can look at copper coins, and we're going to rehash the research process again, and we're going to see there is one photo that copper coins has that looks similar to this. So take a close look at this, what we got here, right? If you want to open up another, what you can do if you want, you can open up another screen and leave this picture up. And on the second screen, you can follow along with the chat. You can open up another screen with the same video and just keep this one. Or you could what's that called? Screen capture. You can screen capture this if you want to keep it on the side. Okay, very good. Let me take a picture of it too. Okay. Okay, so here's copper coins. I keep this page bookmarked. This is the date page. It's called the date page, and we're looking for 1944, right? So let's click on 1944. All right. So here's 1944. Let's click 44P1DO. Okay, let me go a little closer. All right. And here it talks about this list includes all known 1944 Philadelphia double dies obverse as listed by coppercoins.com attribution system. The photographs of each die are split into their respective die dates, blah, blah, blah. All right. So we're looking, remember, we want to see the 9 and the 4. And on the 9, we want to see the doubling to the north. And on the 4, there are two little marks on both 4s in the front here, but mostly they're here on the again on the north, similar to the 9. See this here, you can see is like extra thickness. It's separating to the southeast. So let's go to page 2. All right, this one shows a little bit on the first one. That's not what we got. We have a little mark here, but on the second 4, and on the first 4, there's something going on there too, but it's just not as strong as the second 4. Extra thickness, the I, the T, no. The I, the I, the I, the I. I don't know what this is. But you can see if, it would have to be MS60 to be worth, let's say, $10. So it's not an expensive double die. The extra ear. The funny thing is, it looks like it has doubling on the ear on the bottom over here. I could show you the picture. It's a little worn out, but you can still see it. The I, the I, the I, the I. Now, number 5. We do not have doubling here. If we did, again, this one's a $12 in MS60, 15, 20, whatever it is. I'm sure he's not updating these prices. I doubt it. and who knows how many years and years. So the prices probably are a little bit higher than, I'm not saying much higher, okay, for all you people. No, it's not. That's all they're worth is 10. I'm just saying if you went to buy this coin MS60 on eBay, I could almost guarantee you're not getting it for $12. Okay? And if the lowest one is $100, then that's the price. If you can only find an MS60 for $100, it's worth $100. If you cannot buy it for $12, it's worth $100. And the thing is this: are you really gonna buy one? You're gonna take someone's word for it? That are you a numismatist? Anyway, I don't want to get too far into the weeds on that, but take these prices with a grain of salt. This is more or less like at a coin show, and somebody has it in a flip, yeah, and they're saying it's MS60, and they're saying that that's the era, yeah, yes, that's $12, yes, all day long, 12, 13, $15. But this coin graded MS60 and an MS65 is no way it's $20. First of all, it costs $30 to get graded. Yes, just because you paid $30 to get graded doesn't mean it adds the value to it. But for rare coins like this, it does. It will add tremendous value to the coin. So again, these prices that you see on copper coins are coin show in flip, praying to God that that's really what you spent $20 on. And then I guarantee you at least half of the coins you get in a coin flip, that if you at a coin show and you send those to get graded, maybe 90% of them are not coming back with the attributions. All right, let's keep going. So you get what you pay for. You pay $12 in a coin show, expect to have a $12 coin. You spend $500 on eBay for MS65, which then you got the real deal. That's what you want. Anyway, let's keep going. We have not found yet the 9 or the 4 like we're looking for. What do we have here? What do we have here? We got the spreading to the north. We got the little blip in the front on both coins, on both 4s. This is either it or not it. And that's the question. All right. I think this is it. I think this is the die that made the coin that we're looking at. And they have the marker photo, which is basically just a close-up of that picture. Okay, and it got the 9 here. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is it. It's got the little mark here, and it's got the mark here. Ours has a much strong. It's much. So this could be a later from because it's not. Look, it does show it a little bit here, and it shows it a little bit here. He just doesn't have a very good picture for whatever reason. Oh, he's got the T. Oh, so these are the markers. All right, let's check this out real quick. So he does have other markers here. He's got something right here under the T. Okay. Let's see if we see that. Remember that this is the marker from the from his close-up pictures. There's a little blip. That's the first T in trust. And the question is also, do the T's even look similar? So remember I told you, I said this was a later production coin from that die. Look how on the bottom, how worn out. Look how worn out on the bottom these are. So it kind of lends a little bit to what I was saying, that this could have, if they made 100,000 of these errors, this could have been like 90,000, 95,000. It's worn out on the bottom, so you have to take that into consideration. So again, I'm looking for the T. I'm looking for that little mark on the T. And we have a mark up here on the T, which is funny because there does look like there's a mark here, but it's faded because either it's worn out or it's worn out from the dye is worn out. So let me look at the other letters. Let me look at that R to see if the letters look even the same, Hard to tell. And the letters will look different from one dye to another. So if you're saying, how do you know by looking at the letters? Yeah, they can look totally different one dye to the next. Okay, let's keep going. Ah, it's so funny. I'm telling you, I was just about to tell you on the second T, there's a mark at the top. Okay, but it's not there. It's over here. So that one's, I don't know what he's pointing to right there. There might be something there. I don't know. I can't tell. All right, this is the reverse. And I guess the dye marker is on what? Under the unum? That's the E. The reverse is dirty. This definitely needs to be cleaned a little bit. I don't know how to clean it. I'll have to figure out how to clean it. So this is it. This is all we got for dye markers. And he's got all these other little lines here that could also be dye markers. That's on the first T of trust. I don't know if I could see that. Anyway, it's the closest thing that I found to the coin that we have, and we'll look at it again. But the only thing one thing that I've never really seen this before on any of the other um, varieties where it has all zeros. That's not true. I might have seen it once before, twice before. Obviously, I have not looked through every single penny on copper coins and every reverse front mint mark. Oh, I haven't looked at all the pictures, all the varieties. So read what it says. Widespread on 9 and 4 of date, which it looks like we got. Additional doubling can be seen on the 1 of the date, which it has some twist. Ours has some twisting and notching on it. And trust. Too scarce to price. What does that mean? So the only thing I can say is let's look for one on eBay. That's my go-to. Let's see if we find let's see if we find this on eBay. I'll copy and paste it into eBay. I'll be right back. All right. I put 1944 DDO. Let's just go to highest first, right? Because either it's an expensive penny or it's not. All right. Forget about these ungraded. I would. I don't know. You'd have to have something wrong with you to. And I put 1944. All right. So let me on the side over here. I'm gonna change it to. We're gonna see all kinds of different. Well, let's go. Let's go to the grade and let's go. Let's just look for graded ones. I'll even do ICG just to see if they have it. All right, we only have 45 now, and they're not graded. I typed graded. VF 35 1950. It says 1944 here. On here it says 1955. Guy's an idiot. 1940. That's a quarter. 44D. Okay, that's a 66 red. And it's the FS 101. What are we looking for? Unknown FS. Only Wexler has this so you can see that's the other thing you'll see. Like everybody has their own FS is what everybody uses in I, I I don't know if like PCGS if they use Wexler. I don't know if they use Wexler. All right, but $700. DDO02. That's a nickel quarter. It also showed, not for nothing, this is also very good. Look how much they're asking for high grade. This is FS 101. They're expensive, man. These coins are all expensive. CAC, very fine. NMM, off center error. Okay. They want big money, man. 67 red. Oh, it's the S. $200. They want big bucks, man. Double die obverse 65 red ANAC. A lot of people don't like ANACS. The 9 looks like it has extra thickness. Now, you think PCGS or NCG are going to give you the double die attribution on this? I don't know, and that's one of the problems with buying a grading. If let me tell you, you might just be throwing $130 in the garbage. If no one else is going to agree, if no one else is going to want this coin, you just wasted your money. You know, so if you're going to get a coin graded, it's just like grading cards. You know, grading Pokemon cards, grading baseball cards, basketball cards. A PSA 10 could be $10,000. The same card, BGS 9.5, could be $3,000. That's the difference between a BGS 9.5 and a PSA 10 of the same exact card. The PSA 10 could be 3x that 9.5. Matter of fact, what people want to see it be probably a 10 pristine would be much closer to a PSA 10, but still the PSA 10 might even beat out the 10 pristine. Probably, and then, but the 10 black label is probably the only thing from BGS that will beat out a PSA 10. That would probably beat out a PSA 10. Probably. I'm not even saying definitely, but probably. But that's what happens. You go with these cheaper places to save yourself a few bucks. Meanwhile, and then the product is going to be worth half the price. That doesn't make sense. So definitely not the same double die that we think we might have. I can't even see it, man. Okay. So the question is this the double die or not? Let's look at the notching on the front, right? And this is how we'll end the video. Let's look at the notching on the front of those fours. All right. Obviously, a microscope would have been nice for this, but I don't have the space right now for a microscope. All right. We can go a little closer than that before we lose resolution. So the question is, let me see if light helps or not. The question is on the tips of these fours, is there spreading on the tips of the fours? That's it. Either we got it or we don't. Yeah, see the light just blinded it. I'm going to wipe this real quick just to make sure it's not dirt there. Just use my shirt. All right. Very lightly I wiped it just to make sure there's no dirt there. I think that's a notch on the tip of the four. Okay, and I think that's doubling on the 9 and the 4. That would be my final result. I think that's it there. If it wasn't there, it's not there, but I see it there. And I noticed it before I even noticed it in the yeah. That, and look at the second 4. Now that I cleaned it up a little bit, look at the doubling on that second 4. That's wicked. So again, where is it at? I think that's it. And you can see over here, it's on the going up. You can see it's starting to double there on the side. Too bad he didn't show a better picture of the 4. And I think that's it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. This is the process. This is how long it could take to research one penny that you find penny roll hunting. Now, does that mean that we found it? Not necessarily. I got to be honest with you. But it sure is close. And I'm going to write all that information on the flip, right? So let me get out my flip. I use nickel flips, by the way. Oh, I'm not going to put it in the flip yet. I'll just write it on the flip because I have to do my short videos for this episode. Let me get out. I use a Sharpie because whenever I use the regular pen, I always touched it and smeared it. So I use Sharpies for everything. All right, so we got the 1944P dash 1DO dash 025 only on Wexler. And that's and I'll write it here on the side. That's the W DDO dash 0 0 oh, excuse me, 022. Okay, and we got the spreading on the date. Oh, you want to see the ear? I mentioned the ear before. I don't know if you noticed it or not. And I don't know if it's doubling or not, but it sure does look like doubling to me too. Does that mean it's doubled? I don't know. It doesn't matter. All that matters is what we see right here on the date. Only because it's not clear, I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter. Only because it's not clear. Now, even the other elements have some twisting to it. Right? The Liberty has some twisting, possibly extra thickness. And the only real problem is the reverse of the coin has these marks on it. Would this get I mean, if this is a really expensive coin, you think they're not going to put corrosion on it? They're going to make this into a $20,000 coin, just for example? Nah, they're going to write environmental damage probably for this. Yeah, I would probably send it to them just the way it is and let them do conservation on it. It costs like $20 for conservation. I just give them the $20 and let them mess around with it, see if they can get it looking cleaner. Otherwise, it's probably in XF condition, XF, what's that, 40, 35, 40, something like that. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. This video actually turned out to be, just on this one coin, turned out to be almost as long as the video where I found it. Probably 2 or 3 years from now when I have the microscope out and everything like that, this one video would be the whole episode for the day. But I'm going to spoil you guys and ladies, and you're going to get extra content. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.